My name is Jim Wilson, and I'm a missionary with Reach Global, and I'm the team leader for Ibac, which stands for Institutos Bíblicos de América Central, in English, Bible Institutes of Central America. I've actually been involved in this work for almost 20 years. It got started when I was a pastor in the United States. We took our first trip as a church to Nicaragua to investigate some possibilities for how we might involve our church in long-term missions. And we ended up discovering that pastoral training was just a real need in this region. So we decided to bring theological education from our church. We started in Nicaragua, and it's now expanded to several countries here in Central America. So our goal is to produce servant leaders, and we do that through a program of informal training. It doesn't lead to a degree, but it's a program of 15 courses that we teach in order to equip these guys with biblical theological knowledge.
Our pastors lack training, and there's an immense need for that. The second thing is that even if some of them are not trained, the ones who are trained, I think there's a lack of biblical discernment or theological discernment over things. And I think that Ibac brings not only training for those that they lack the training, but also a call to develop a theological discernment.
Ha sido algo precioso porque he podido mirar más la palabra sin importar las cosas que escucho alrededor, y he conocido y he descubierto más a Cristo y puedo entender cuánto necesito cada día más de Él. Sí, ha sido algo muy lindo y creo que va a ser mucho mejor porque Él siempre tiene mucho más de lo que yo puedo pensar.
El instituto ha cambiado mi forma de pensar, la forma en la que expongo el mensaje. Me doy cuenta que no es solo leer y predicar como lo entiendo, entonces lo digo con fe. Entonces ha aumentado mucho el impacto de la palabra en la iglesia.
We're very explicit in telling these guys that what we share with them, we expect them to go back and share it with their congregation. So the courses that we teach, the content, the material that we teach, it's been just an incredible joy to hear how so many of these pastors take this not only to their congregations and teach it within their discipleship or teach sermon series on what we teach them, but they actually take it to other communities. They actually take it to other places and other churches, and they train people. So what they're learning is being passed on to others.
I see life changing in them. For me, it's very surprising as somebody that has only 1 year being there. I asked some of the pastors, what is the percentage of desertion, people who do not continue the program? And it's practically zero. And I see the students very committed, very excited, programming on the year, the times that they attend to their Bible Institute. So,
hemos aprendido muchas cosas. Hemos trabajado con maestros muy buenos y eso refresca la visión y le abre a uno un panorama para muchas cosas que uno conocía en parte, pero que llegó a conocer más profundamente. Lo han capacitado a uno muy lindo y hemos aprendido mucho de ellos. Aparte que ya los vemos como una familia. Cada vez que se acerca el seminario, está uno deseoso de llegar acá por la relación que se tiene con ellos ya y el aprendizaje que se recibe. Son excelentes en lo que trabajan.
Now, the second part of the vision, which is just as important as that, is that we want to do that through mobilizing the U.S. church. So in order to accomplish the vision of providing mobile theological education to Latin American pastors, we do that in partnership with churches in the United States, and that's just as important to our vision as this piece is. So I saw as a pastor the value that this kind of ministry brought to my church. So What we want to do is get as many churches involved in this work because of the benefit that it brings to those churches.
Back in 2013, I had responsibility for about a year and a half for outreach. We really wanted to come alongside churches and be a part of developing and helping them grow and being what they needed, as opposed to us coming down with a plan or our own mission or purposes. We didn't want to be something that just felt good and go home and pat ourselves on the back. And this particular program was outstanding in its material. It had been proven because it was used in Panama and Guatemala, Nicaragua, other places. So it was just a great opportunity to not have to reinvent anything, the outline, the process, the procedures, and they wanted to move into the Costa Rica countryside, and that's where we kind of got started. I think that as a ministry, as you further clarify and define what you want to be involved in, this is an opportunity to balance teaching and training, serving, getting to know relationship-wise. Obviously, if you know the Spanish language, that's a great help because you can mingle with the crowd during the breaks and in the evenings after dinner. So it's a great opportunity from that angle to get to know people. But I think that the main thing is that look at it as a long-term investment. Long-term could be years or multiple years, but the ability to come in and have an impact longer term. This is not about a mission trip to come feel good for one time or two times and then go home and never come back. This is a place to build relationship for a long time to come with great diverse opportunities of things you can do and come alongside with.
I think it really models what Jesus did. Is he spent a lot of time with his disciples and then sent them out to do kingdom business. And so, I mean, we can't spend every day of our lives for 3 years, but we can come down twice a year for 7 years and build these relationships. And I think ministry always happens within the context of relationship, and long, lasting, fruitful ministry. I think it takes that commitment over a long period of time, and so we're very excited. I just wonder about the impact that it'll have all over Central America. And there'll be a day when we get to heaven and they're like, yeah, I mean, gosh, it's such a blessing now, but we won't see the full expanse of that until we get into heaven. And so